Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans.
Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air. Stand by.
Now, here's JP.
What is up, Petermans? It is the IndyCarTim takeover on a Friday of the JP Peterson Show. Right here on FanStream Sports. You guys are in for a treat. If you've been to one of these IndyCarTim takeovers before, you know what it's all about. While the teacher is away, the substitute will play. And I brought along a playmate with me today. You guys are all familiar with PGA of America member, Mr. Johnny J.G. Gerber, Esquire himself. What's up, Johnny?
Good morning. Good morning. What a day. Friday. It is Friday. It's for most people, not us. It's their last work day of the week. It's not us because we always work. We always work. It doesn't really matter why JP is enjoying a nice little whatever he's doing. We don't ask. We just when he asks, we just say sure.
Yeah.
We just say sure. But what a great week. We are been up in Dublin, Ohio all week covering the Memorial, which is a great week, as you can see on TV. The golf course is winning. It is winning, and it will continue to win all week.
Scotty doesn't know.
No, he does not. Not this week. He's crying and complaining. But not going to the tournament today, so I can jump on with you. And I'm going to play a little customer golf this afternoon. Ooh. And looking forward to this morning. Talk a little bit of Tampa sports. We might dive into a little golf, too. So,
just a little bit of golf, boys and girls, for the show.
Good to be here with you, buddy.
Thank you. Sure. It's always fun when we do a show together, whether it's the old golf show or it's one of these or literally anything else of the thousands of shows that we seem to do at the same time together. So it's always a good time, and it's always a bit sketchy when we get on the air together. So that's what everybody likes.
That's right.
I will warn everybody before we get too deep into this.
Ooh.
Just a bit of warning. There will be no stadium talk today.
Nope.
I promise you, there will be no stadium talk today. And I almost feel like,
well, don't promise,
Johnny, that, well, I mean, if the Petermans want to talk about it and bring it up in the chat, that's perfectly fine. Just know that whatever answer I give you for stadium questions, just throw it out because it's going to be ridiculous. And I almost feel like any JP Peterson show that doesn't include stadium talk these days is probably only going to last about 14 minutes out of the 2 hours.
True. But you got to love his passion, though, right? You got to love.
Absolutely.
I love that about him. That's the greatest thing to talk about.
I don't know that I have ever been or will ever be as passionate about anything, and that includes my children and loved ones.
I was going to say you had it seems like you had a lot of passion about having kids, so you have plenty of them.
I've never been so into anything, including women, as he is into the stadium thing. But I mean, I get it. I get passion. I get people that are like that, and I respect it. I have all of the respect for that. I just don't know that I could ever be that way about a stadium or anything. But again, no disrespect. I'm not making fun of him or anything, but it's amazing the knowledge and what he imparts to you guys. And I know the Petermans appreciate it because he's literally the only one speaking truths about it. I get it. But yes. Who is this in the comments? There is one thing I'm very passionate about that I'm getting called out. JS813 Pooh Shiesty. Yes. My passion for Applebee's is very close to JP's passion for,
that's
for
fact.
The stadium thing.
That is fact.
Man, I do love me some Applebee's though.
That's so weird. I'm a Chili's guy, right?
I like Chili's too.
I'm not a you kind of have those. What is either you got Chili's, Applebee's? There's one more that are kind of, it's kind of a little bit of comparability. I'm more of a Chili's guy. You like the Applebee's more than the Chili's. The chips and salsa. Yeah. So, and Dallas is Applebee's based in Dallas? I know Chili's is. Is Applebee's based? I think
they're owned by the same company. They're
probably right.
I think so.
That probably sounds right.
Maybe not.
That is true. That was a great comment. Passion for Applebee's. You get those the nuggets, the chicken, the chicken bites, don't you?
I just get the steaks, man. I love the steaks. I love the burgers. They got that bourbon steak with the bourbon butter on it.
Yeah, I'll pass. I'm
okay with a good steak, man.
Fridays is the other one that we were taking.
TGI Fridays. What about Bennigan's? I mean, they're all closed, right?
That's old school. Is Fridays closed?
I think so. Do we still have TGI Fridays?
I think so. I don't think it's called TGI Fridays. I think it's just called Today. Friday.
It's called Today?
Yeah, Friday.
No. Oh, I don't know. Maybe so. If that's the case, I don't know. I don't look at places. I just go to Applebee's. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So boys and girls, lots to get into today. We are going to talk Bucs. I thought it would be fun to go over, now that we're a couple of weeks post-draft, what some of the national media is getting into about the NFC South, some projected win totals, and I found a nice piece over at CBS Sports, and kind of what they're thinking about the NFC South. Some nice things to say about the Bucs. Maybe not some so nice things to say about the Falcons. JP touched on John Cooper. We played the video last night or yesterday of him being surprised with the Jack Adams Trophy. Long overdue. After another 50-win season, 160 points in a 9th straight playoff berth, he might have been the guy most deserving to have never won it. And he finally wins the Jack Adams Trophy, edging Lindy Ruff. It was just 3 voting points. And to be honest, I might have thought Lindy Ruff was more deserving.
Let me ask you something. As much as Cooper is having success there in Tampa, how do you gauge your success? Do you think they miss Tortorella, who's continues to every place he goes to be successful?
No, they don't miss John Tortorella.
And being in the Stanley Cup Finals, you don't miss that. I mean,
well, they're in the playoffs 9 straight years, and they love John Cooper, so I don't think they miss John. They don't miss Tortorella.
I mean, winning a Stanley Cup and being in the playoffs are 2 different things.
Because they're probably going to win. Cooper's done that too. Cooper's done that.
Since when's the last time he did that?
2020.
That's a long time ago. That's 6 years. That's a long time.
Been in the playoffs ever since.
Okay.
Tortorella can't keep a job longer than a year. He's the Pete DeBoer of the NHL Coaches Association.
Yeah. He's
look, and I love John. I mean, they just put John Tortorella into the Tampa Bay Sports. They did the JP was emceeing that. We played video of that yesterday. They love Tortorella in Tampa Bay. I don't know that they miss him as a coach, though. I mean,
every place he goes, he has a stint where he does really well, and then whether they just wear, he wears him out too much in his antics or whatever you wanted to call it. You're big of a hockey guy, but it seems like every place he goes, he was in Columbus for a while, so they got good for Columbus. When he was here, and then he just wore out his welcome, whatever. I don't know what he does in between, in practices and in the locker room, things like that. It seems like he has some success, and then he just beats them down so much that they got to get rid of him, or something happens there in between. And it's a pattern. It's a trend, right? It's not like he goes one place and I don't know how many teams does he coach? 5 or 6?
Oh, probably more.
Yeah.
I do know if he wins the Cup this year, we might get into a little Game 2 action talk from last night as they lose in overtime, blowing a 2-0 lead with 10 minutes to play in the game. That's not a good look.
No.
But he would be the longest. It would be in the history of the league, the longest time between Stanley Cup wins at 22 years? I think they win in 2004 with Torts. So, he's got that going for him. And Kurt corrected me. Yes, of course, the Lightning won back-to-back cups in 20 and 21. I always refer back to the 2020, Dallas Stars, of course, that was the bubble. It doesn't count, by the way. If we can't count the Lakers championship in the bubble, we can't count the Lightning championship in the bubble.
They count the Lakers championship. We don't talk NBA.
Counts,
yes,
nobody counts the Lakers.
They got a trophy.
Ask anybody.
Oh, I'm asking the NBA, and they say yes, they're champions.
They don't count it.
Yes, they do.
Mostly because LeBron was there too. But yeah. So I don't think they miss Torts at all in Tampa because they've got Cooper, and he might be the upgraded version of Torts before it's all said and done. Also, boys and girls, look, we don't talk soccer, and we are going to get to y'all's comments here in a little bit because there's a bunch of them I need to get to So, Johnny, in case you don't know, when I do the IndyCarTim takeover, it's usually the Peterman takeover, actually, because I just kind of let them run the thing here.
Probably for the best. Probably for the best.
Trust me, it is.
Yeah.
But some soccer talk locally, because I know there's some guys out there that, for whatever reason, show an interest in this activity, as I hesitate to refer to it as a sport. The Rowdies beat Louisville City FC 2-0, Johnny. This is notable because they now remain unbeaten, and they move 10 points now clear in the Eastern Conference. The Tampa Bay Rowdies are on a roll, and you guys need to go out and support the Tampa Bay Rowdies. We have their coach on here. What's the name of that old school stadium over by the airport? I can't remember what it's called. You guys help me out here in the comments. It's been there since the 40s. It used to be a baseball stadium. Now it's now they've converted it when the Rowdies took it over a few years ago. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility. It's super old school. Used to be a spring training facility for a couple of major. I think the Phillies.
Yankees.
No, I don't think it was. It's Lang Field. Yes, there you go. Pooh Shiesty. By the way, that's JP's favorite thing to say on the show these days is Pooh Shiesty.
Great. It's great.
I'm kind of getting lit up for saying the bubble championship doesn't count. Of course it counts.
Yeah, of course it counts. See,
of course it counts for the Lightning, but it doesn't count for the Lakers because nobody cares.
You can't go one or the other. It doesn't work that way.
Also worth mentioning, England plays New Zealand Saturday, tomorrow, at Ray J in a pre-World Cup. And I need everyone's help with this because I don't know. I don't know soccer. What in the hell is a friendly?
It doesn't count. So basically, it doesn't count against. They're just getting guys warmed up. They're getting some reps in to see. It's basically a practice game.
So it's a
scrimmage game. Yes, it's a scrimmage game.
Well, can we just call it an exhibition then?
Well, it's soccer. They call it a friendly. They don't want to call it a whatever else they want to call it. No, it's you talk about World Cup, and me and you are the same when it comes to. We're not soccer fans. I mean, I appreciate it as a ex-professional athlete. I appreciate any sport that you do as a professional. It doesn't matter what it is, just the dedication that you have to put in. You can be as judgmental, Tim, as you want, but it really is a sport. And I don't get excited about soccer. I'll go to Columbus as a team, obviously Kansas City, where I spend part-time, and in Dallas, they have a team. But when it comes to World Cup, I watch just because I'm a lover of sport. And to have that thing, it's the biggest sporting event in the world. It is. No matter what anyone says, it just is.
I disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you want, but I'm stating facts. It's just what it is.
It's your opinion.
And it's not an opinion. These are facts. The World Cup has a base in Kansas City that we have. The first group stage is Argentina, England.
Where are they playing?
At Arrowhead.
Oh, okay.
And so it's Argentina, England, Netherlands, and Nigeria or Algeria, one of those two. And I don't know. It's something Nigeria. Just say it's
not Algiers.
It's not Algiers in Louisiana. No, that's where Shaq came from in the movie. What's that movie?
Wow, Shazam.
That was it's a basketball movie. That was a good pull by me, anyways. But
it was.
But I get into it a little bit to watch, and I was debating with Kansas City people a couple of weeks ago, and they have this big hoopla about, it's going to bring so much to the economy, and it's going to be great, and they're starting to realize that it's not. And here's why I say that. It's sad. I mean, Kansas City is it's not one of the biggest cities in the country, but the people are super nice. And it's a kind of a strange place for me to, in my opinion, to have this. Soccer's big, but it's not like massive. But
it's big in Kansas City.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it's not massive. Baseball's bigger when it comes to that. But it's the restaurants and the hotels are getting a little bit of a rude awakening that they're not getting the people there that they want. And I'm just like, okay, like, no disrespect to Kansas City, but some of these people that are coming from, if you're going from England, probably going to get through. Argentina's probably going to get through. Netherlands, okay, and then the people
get through what? What are you talking about?
The first stage, they get through, and then they move on to the semifinals. So there's two.
Like a tournament?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Do you know anything about sports?
No, I went to the World Cup in 1994 at the Cotton Bowl here, and I had no idea what I was watching.
Obviously.
Is that not the final? I don't know.
No. And there's a whole big thing. So you get out your group stage, and then you go to the bigger national stage that they play in LA and Mexico. But like the people aren't going to spend like the people from England and Argentina are not going to spend the money to go to Kansas City. They're going to wait till they get past the group stage and then go. So they're the gouge and bomb and gouge prices of a Hampton Inn in Overland Park, Kansas was $740. I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
I've stayed there. It ain't worth it.
y'all should be ashamed of yourself. That you wonder why, like, man, you're
America sucks.
So there you go. They don't, but anyways, but that's it. That's what I'm thinking. They're going to wait until they get to start to play the next stage. Once they get past the group stage in LA or Dallas, there's bigger, Mexico City, I think is one. I'm not really sure where they go from there. But my point is, as big as the World Cup is, putting it in a place like Kansas City, it was rated like the second or the last or second worst city by a something that they did a whole big list of best cities to go watch the world. Kansas City was second to last. So it's just like, okay, man, it just didn't seem like a good fit. And Kansas City does have an MLS team. They do, and they have a ladies team.
The home of the MLS.
Yeah. So it's big.
Can you say that? I think you're supposed to say women. So I don't think you're supposed to say ladies.
Well, I said it. Ladies. I think ladies are more respectful.
We're gonna get canceled.
So too late.
Well, yeah, because obviously the owners of the Kansas City Crew or whatever, I know that used to be their name. That's the Hunts own all of that. Same owners of the Chiefs. Used to be Lamar, now it's Clark. And they're all from Dallas. They all still live in Dallas. They have homes in Dallas here. Of course, founded the team here as the Texans in 1960 in the original AFL. But yeah, and I think they built like the first purpose-built soccer stadium, like Major League Soccer stadium, like when the MLS started way back in the 90s. Before, they were all using other stadiums, and I think Lamar Hunt built the first purpose-built MLS soccer stadium in the country, and then of course everybody followed suit. So how that league is still in existence is beyond me.
Sporting KC, yeah. So that stadium now is up by the racetrack, Kansas City Motor Speedway, and it's up by the casinos, and that's up where the Chiefs are talking about moving their stadium. So it's a pretty cool district. It's a sports district, so it makes sense, but it's on the Kansas side, not the Missouri side.
We have spent way too much time talking about soccer. I still don't understand what a friendly is. But I will tell you this, boys and girls, I wanted to make a note of this. If you were looking for something to do tomorrow on Saturday, or even tonight after the show this afternoon, I implore you, head over to the St. Pete Pier. Oh. Because, Johnny, this afternoon, evening, and into tomorrow, it is the Red Bull Cliff Diving Series. And they're doing it at the St. Pete Pier this weekend. If I was in Tampa right now, or in Tampa Bay, anywhere in the area, I would make my way over there because this is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. They did it here in Dallas a few years ago. It's pretty badass.
Do they have enough elevation there? How does that work?
I'm sure they build the platform. Yeah, that's what they did here. You had to build a platform, but
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So you guys head over there and get to that. Let's get to a few comments here real quick before we go to our first break. Bilal Abel, hope your Friday is going great. Always happy to see you too, JP. Tim, y'all got the best sports show in Tampa Bay. Looking forward to the start of the season. Sure, she's talking about the Bucs season. I certainly am ready for football. There's no question. She's also looking forward to the Timm takeover. Let's buck and go.
All right.
Danny boy, good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you. Danny says, Tim, did you see the interview with the Dallas mayor on CBS News Texas last night? Yes, I absolutely did. You know, much better than me, but it sounded delusional to me when it came to the Mavs to start. Yeah, the city of Dallas has no freaking clue what they're doing. They were lucky to have the Stars and the Mavericks here since 2000 because they didn't want the AAC in their city limits. And it almost didn't happen. And at the last minute, funding came through for the AAC just before, when they built it. I think it opened in 2000. The Stars coming off their 99 Stanley Cup run. The Mavericks still sucked at the time. Dirk was just 2 years into his career at that point. Mark had just bought the team, and they didn't want it in Dallas. And now they're running into the same things. And, obviously it's new leadership, new mayor. The leadership here in Dallas is no better. They can't get anything done. They got an empty city hall that's iconic. That was if you guys ever saw RoboCop, it served as the backdrop for the police station in RoboCop. That is an actual building, and it's now empty, and they can't figure out what to do with it. So they're just going to tear it down. As iconic as it is, they're just going to tear it down. They tried to get the Mavericks to build a stadium there, an arena there.
Nobody wants to go to downtown Dallas.
Nobody wants to go to downtown
No one's
Dallas.
living in downtown Dallas anymore.
It's not safe.
It's not. People with any money, they're doing anything, and all the businesses and everything are moving north. It's just what it is. It's just moving north, and it continues to grow. No one wants to go down to watch a game. The moves that they're having to put it in Plano or putting in Willow Bend. I heard one for the
the Stars are moving to Willow Bend, and the Mavs are moving to Valley View. Yeah, it's happening.
I mean, it's just what it is. No one has any interest to live or to go downtown Dallas.
Nope. I'm happy. They're closer to me for sure. JS813 Pooh Shiesty. Good morning to Tim Ham and all the Petermans. Friendly reminder that no matter who wins the Stanley Cup this year, it will stay in the greatest country on earth. 33 years since a team from Canada has won. USA, USA, USA. With all due respect, Pooh Shiesty.
Oh boy, this is how this starts. When you start with all due respect, it gets very disrespectful. I just know how this works.
With all due respect, Pooh Shiesty, and to America, and I do love America. It's a travesty to me that a Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993. My Montreal Canadiens, les Habitants, of course, won in 86 and in 93, and that was the last times we had a cup up there. Should have happened this year. The Canadiens and Martin St. Louis were all robbed against the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are this year's Florida Panthers. It's clear what's happened. It was clearly a coup that the league has against Canadian teams, and it's fine. It's fine. We'll come back. We will be better. And with no disrespect to the United States, Canada's pretty good too. I'm not going to lie. We got this going for us over here on the FanStream Sports wall right there. See, there you go.
It's not helping.
Yeah, it's helping everything.
Okay.
I get to look at it during the show.
It's not helping. Yeah, can't wait till I get down there, so I'll tear that off.
You just put a stupid Ohio State picture in the Ohio studio.
I'm trying to support my people. We're not in Montreal. We don't have a Montreal studio, so why are you putting a Montreal Canadian flag in there?
This is our Montreal studio.
No, it's not. I can't wait till I get down. I'm driving from Columbus right now.
Look, I got Bucs. I got Cowboys. I got my Rangers, and then I got my beer.
And that's all American.
Stuff down the hall over there.
And that's all American.
And I got your stupid, by the way, still hanging on the wall, your TaylorMade thing. We get nothing from TaylorMade, but we got to put a damn banner on the wall.
Call it stupid again. Call it stupid again.
I don't have anything from TaylorMade.
Because you can't hit the ball in the air.
Well, if they give me some free clubs, maybe I could.
It doesn't help. It won't help. And you got a Mexican soul sign there. It's the only thing Mexican.
It's good beer.
That's great beer. It's great. I love
by the way, we have this spot for renting down here if anybody wants to buy that spot for advertisement.
Yeah.
Bilal Bell says, hey, Johnny. Maybe she's saying it like
Buenos dias.
Hey, Johnny.
Not sure, but buenos dias to you.
I don't know if she's saying, hey, Johnny, or if she's saying, hey, Johnny.
Most of them, it's the second.
I need to mark that, by the way. Danny Boy says Mr. Gerber. That's Hello? Mr. Gerber to you, right. Danny Boy.
All right. No, sir, that's my father.
Danny Boy can't wait for Shinnecock in 2 weeks. Man, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be great. Good. We still got Memorial. We still got a couple to get to make some money. So let's hold tight.
Bilal Bell wants us to get deep into it, and we're going to talk about it. And then, Pooh Shiesty brought up my Applebee's thing. Danny Boy, my understanding is also that Collin County, Texas is getting more and more from Dallas. That is absolutely true. Collin County is a wonderful political district.
Yep.
Bilal Bell wants to know whatever happened to Fridays.
No.
I don't know. I have a funny Bennigan story, though.
Oh, no. Next. No.
When I was with the ticket, we did a remote at the Bennigans in Louisville, and we might have burned it down. That's an absolutely true story.
Sure it is.
We were doing a remote there, and the feed truck that we had plugged into everything there at the restaurant might have tripped something and started a fire, and the whole restaurant burned down.
How long ago was this? Is it like
The 90s.
statute of limitations over? Like
90s. Oh, everybody
knows.
knows. Everybody knows what happened. Yeah, it was a big,
Okay.
big story here in Dallas. But yeah, no, it was in the late 90s, I think.
Electrical fire.
Yeah, electrical fire. Danny Boy says McKinney is. We're getting a lot into a lot of Dallas talk here. I'm here for it though. McKinney is growing every day. And he tells me the Spoon and McKinney, you need to try that place for breakfast, especially. You will not be disappointed. So I have a Spoon and McKinney story too, Danny Boy.
Of course you do.
I have actually eaten at the Spoon and McKinney, not by choice, but I will tell you, I met a young lady.
Hello.
St. Patrick's Day
Shocker.
celebration a couple months ago, and was hanging out in downtown McKinney. They have a big St. Patty's Day celebration and parade.
Yeah, it's cool too.
Down there.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I might have met a young lady down there and ditched all of my friends and hung out with her and ended up back at her place that night. She woke me up. I was going to have to Uber home. She says, well, I got to go open my bar or my rest where I work. Come and hang out and we'll eat. And then you can Uber. I'm like, okay, cool. She worked at the Spoon. So I got a free breakfast at the Spoon one morning with nobody there.
All right.
So there you go. And I never heard from her again. Maybe she didn't like the way I chewed. I don't know.
I could go so many directions with that. If it wasn't JP show, I would just go a million different directions.
It's not the golf show. Yeah, it's not the golf show. He has real sponsors. Pooh Icy says, got that Bourbon Street steak with the Oreo shake. Get some whipped cream on top. That Bourbon Street steak is just amazeballs, by the way. That's what I get most of the time. She says that was a typo. It was supposed to say Pewter Report interview. Oh, yeah. She's talking about the Jacob Parrish interview. We'll probably have that on Monday to get to play some of those interviews. By the way, I will be back on Monday. JP will not be back. I hadn't talked to Johnny about coming back on with me yet, but we'll have another IndyCarTim takeover on Monday to bookend the weekend. Kurt says John Tortorella is fired in Tampa for a reason. Lightning won back-to-back in 2021. Yes, he was. He's usually fired for a reason. And I don't know that any place misses him, as Johnny may have implied at the beginning of the show. Yesterday, Tampa City Council meeting, Carlson had a meltdown when denied a motion with admin involved. See, look, we're already getting into stadium talk.
Yeah,
already.
I told you can't promise that.
You can't promise that. I said if they wanted to talk about it, they could. He suggested City Council deny the mayor all the votes she needs for the next year till she involves council with the things the charter says they don't have to. So, yeah, I've never heard as much local bickering in my life for a local referendum on a stadium. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. We don't deal with that here. It just never gets. If they don't want it, it just doesn't get this far. It just doesn't happen. And the Rays deal will die. He was pissed. Pooh Shiesty reminded me Al Lang Field. That's where the Rowdies play. Kurt says all the teams that played in the bubble played under the same conditions. The Lightning were away from family in total, quarantine in Canada for 2 months. It has to be the hardest cup to have won. I disagree. I'm going to say it's the easiest cup to have won. I get the conditions, but I think it's the easiest cup. There were no fans. There was no home ice. There was no road ice. Everybody was there together, hanging out together. I think it was the easiest cup and the easiest NBA championship to win. I don't know. I disagree. If you want good pizza in Texas, you got to try Cadillac Pizza Pub in McKinney. That pizza hit all the marks there. Absolutely. I go there a lot, Danny Boy. They got live music like on Friday and Saturday nights. It's not a big place. It's usually just like one dude or one chick with a guitar. But their pizza, their salads are really good. If you're a salad dude, love Cadillac Pizza. Kurt says Carlson loathes the mayor of Tampa Cat. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Bell says, Tim, did you see with the guy that ran into the basketball court with Game 1 KS? Yeah, he has now been banned from him and a buddy, apparently, who he had in the stands that helped. I don't know if it was a buddy or somebody that helped facilitate his access to the court. It might have been a security guard or somebody. They've both been banned. Yeah, was it worth it? I don't know. He didn't get the picture, apparently. I thought he got the selfie with Wemby, but apparently he didn't, is what I'm hearing. I haven't seen it if he did. And I can't believe they showed this on TV. That's another thing, man. Normally, when guys storm the field, they don't show it on TV. They not only, and I get it's a little bit different with an NBA court because it's a little bit more, confined, but I get the initial storming of the court, like why he was there, but you can immediately change shots if you have to. The director should have done that. Not only did they show the full transaction, They replayed it. They showed replays of it, which doesn't, I guess, tell people not to do it. I don't know. It seemed weird. Here's a good one from Kurt. Is Hank Hill from King of the Hill, which, yes, is set in Texas. Actually, it's a fictional version of Garland is what it's supposed to be, from what I understand. He said soccer was invented by European ladies to keep them busy while their husbands did the cooking.
Damn.
Yes, KC has an MLS team. They do. They have, I think, since the very beginning of the MLS.
Sporting KC.
Yeah. Well, they used to be the Kansas City Crew, but I think
they moved to Columbus Crew now, and then
Okay, all right, I got you. Or maybe I just got the names mixed up. Danny Boy in Texas, they don't mess around with their food. No, not at all, man. It's all good here. Yeah. Everything is bigger in Texas. Damn straight it is. Especially when it comes to the briskets, especially they don't mess around. That food is there to die. Yeah, everybody talks about barbecue in other states, and I get it. Yeah. It's fine. It is what it is, but you can't compare any of that to Texas barbecue. No, it's on a different level. I'm not saying the other stuff isn't good, because I do from time to time. I like Carolina sauce, barbecue sauce sometimes, which I think are more vinegar based. They're a little bit thinner, and I don't have a problem with any of that. Sometimes I like that. But Texas stuff here with your, ketchup based or mustard based barbecue sauces, it's next level.
Yep.
So, Montreal Canadiens will sign McDavid from John Hill. They have the cap space to sign him, and he doesn't continue. So I don't know where he's going with that. I'd love to see Connor McDavid in a Montreal Canadiens jersey. He'd be one of the next greats. Tim, you have to speak French to like Montreal. Well, je m'appelle Tim et toi?
No.
Where is the Jägermeister bottle? Well, Bell, we don't have a Jägermeister bottle here at the studio. We have a Jägermeister machine in the studio with 3 bottles. Correct. Here during the break, I will go in and I will take a picture of it and I will show it to everybody here. Yep. A long time ago, I did on one of my initial IndyCarTim takeovers, I did a tour of the studio, video live, like on my phone, walked everybody around the studio. I'll go get a picture of it during the break here. I'll show everybody our kegerator and our Jägermeister machine that we got. Well, I think that was the very first thing we moved in here, even before we had furniture. We had to move the Jägermeister.
Yeah, priorities, bud. Priorities. We got priorities. We were drinking.
That's right.
We were drinking on the floor, waiting for the furniture to come in.
And then we'll get back into everybody's comments as well. Big O is joining us here in a few minutes to talk some Rays baseball. Rays-Marlins kicking off a series down in Miami. Rays are in a bad place right now. The Marlins have always been in a bad place, except for those 2 World Series, 5 years apart, whatever it was that they bought. Mm-hmm. Pudge was one of those, though. We cheered for Pudge back in the day. This is the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim. That's Johnny JG, PGA of America member Gerber, joining us for the IndyCarTim takeover. Big O later. More of your comments and some NFC South talk, maybe, if we have time for it. Coming up after this.
Pitch Roofing believes giving back is part of doing business the right way. That's why they proudly offer exclusive discounts to those who gave the most to our communities, including veterans, first responders, seniors, and teachers. And for listeners of the JP Peterson Show, there's even more good news. Pitch Roofing is now offering a special discount just for fans of the show. With so many roofing companies coming and going in Florida, it's important to choose a contractor you can count on long after the job is done, especially when it comes to honoring your warranty. Pitch Roofing is built for the long haul with a reputation for quality, transparency, and standing behind their work. Whether it's a repair or a full replacement, their team delivers honest guidance, quality workmanship, and no high-pressure sales. Call 727-67-PITCH, 727-677-4824, or visit pitchroofing.com to schedule a free estimate.
Pitch roofing done right.
As the Rays enjoy being back in their Tropicana Field home this season that was ravaged by Hurricane Milton, Italiano Insurance wants to remind us all how important it is to be properly insured. 40% of you are underinsured. That can mean financial disaster. Let the experienced and friendly agents at Italiano shop your policies for the best price and the right coverage. Italiano saved me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year, over $500 on our homeowners insurance. They can do the same for you. That's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with our all-star agents at Italiano Insurance, or call our Boca Grande office at 941-964-0400. Hey guys, you already know that Riveters is the best sports bar in all of Tampa Bay, but now it gets even better for Rays baseball season. During all Rays games, check this out, $6 Tito's, $6 Jack, $6 margaritas, all during Rays games. Are you kidding me? And that's always a great pour from the great bartenders at Riveters. Great service, great food, everything is fresh, nothing is frozen. And let me tell you, if you want baseball and wings, you will not find any better than Riveters. Their sauces, like the blue cheese and the ranch, and everything is handmade, and the wings are big and they're perfect. Wings, baseball, Rays, Riveters. It all comes together during baseball season. Once again, in addition to all the great food and service, you get $6 Tito's, $6 Jacks, $6 margaritas. It's time to celebrate. Baseball season is back, and celebrate at Riveters. You know where it is, right there on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of the stadium. See you there at Riveters. Hey, the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler, so don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. At the Golden Diamond Source, they can design anything you want personally. The Golden Diamond Source can help you trade in your old broken jewelry and use it towards a new purchase as well. And with gold prices at record high, now is the best time to do it. They only sell natural diamonds at the Golden Diamond Source, so if it's a real love, it should be a real natural diamond. Don't start your relationship with a fake diamond. Bad idea. And with the Golden Diamond Source first-time buyer program, you can learn all about the 4 C's in all the different shapes and styles. And they are able to show you a huge selection of inventory to choose from. And don't forget, 0% financing for up to 5 years. If you finance $5,000, it's only $83 a month. Make sure it's a Golden Diamond Source Diamond, 3800 Almerton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com.
It's a love you give only at Golden Diamond Source.
Hey, JP here for Genesis of Tampa and the Murphy Auto Group. I think the best way to experience a business is to use that business. And I just did at Genesis of Tampa. Just bought a GV70, a 2023, and it feels and drives all new. It's an absolutely fantastic car. The technology, the comfort, and the price, absolutely outstanding. Frankly, I never thought I could get into a car like this, but they made me a deal I could not refuse. And I also get the VIP service where you can just drive right up, their pit stop service. They'll top off all the fluids, make sure your air in your tires is good, new wipers if you want them. If you need extended service, they will come to you, bring you a courtesy car, and then bring your car back. What more do you want? The experience was just VIP all the way. And you can get that at Genesis of Tampa. And don't forget, you can get extended warranty, which I did. So I have worry-free miles up to 100,000, and all they do is just take it in. Actually, I don't have to take it in. They come to me. It's perfect. It's Genesis of Tampa right there, 801 East Bears Avenue, right off of 275. Go see them and tell them JP sent you.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. It is an IndyCarTim Takeover Friday alongside PGA of America member, which I'm contractually obligated to say every time I introduce him anywhere.
Yeah.
John Gerber out there covering that Memorial Golf Tournament in Dublin, which is not in Arkansas.
No.
Apparently.
No, far from it.
It's kind of the same, right? Ohio, Arkansas.
No, not even a little bit. No.
Which is worse for people in Ohio? I don't know, what do you call them? Ohioites? I don't know what you call them. Is it comparing Ohio to Arkansas or comparing Ohio to Kentucky? Doesn't Ohio hate Kentucky?
No, people are nice in Kentucky. That's what Cincinnati is. It's just northern Kentucky.
Right. It's across the river. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no. I haven't lived here for
Cincinnati Airport.
It's in Kentucky.
Yeah. The Cincinnati Airport is actually in Kentucky. That's
Correct.
really weird.
Yeah, I haven't lived here for years, so you know how these people feel about themselves these days. I don't know, nor do I want to even try to explain.
JP instructed me very explicitly to make sure I get in his live reads, which I can't because I don't have them in front of me because I forgot. But you guys make sure you check out all of our great sponsors here on the JP Peterson Show. Pitch roofing done right. Riveters, of course, the best place to check out all of your Rays baseball, all of your Rowdies post-game and pre-game festivities. I don't know if y'all can watch Rowdies on TV. I don't know if that's televised, but you can certainly go before and after the Rowdies games. And certainly come football season, as it's right across from the stadium. That's where you're going to want to go hang out when the Rays get their new facility, which they will. Right there, it'll be close as well. It's right next door, by the way, to my favorite place in all of Tampa Bay, the Spaceship, Johnny. Italiano Insurance, Golden Diamond Source, Kingmakers, the home of the FanStream Sports Studio there in Tampa Bay. And, of course, third-generation plumbing and our buddy Paolo over at Cafe Paradiso, the best. I know it's not number one. It's usually in the top 3 Italian restaurants in Tampa Bay. It's my number one in my heart and in my stomach. Johnny and I have had the privilege of eating at Cafe Paradiso and meeting Paolo and having wine and breaking bread with Paolo. Great dude. Great. Even better place. It's the best place, man. Still
super chill.
Lasagna. My veal piccata was amazeballs.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny, I think you got you some sketty or something. What'd you get? I forgot what you ate.
I don't remember what I got. I'm not a big Italian fan. Yeah,
I know.
They just started bringing us stuff. They just started bringing us stuff, and I was like, man, this is great. Man, this is great. Man, what's this great?
8 bottles of wine we drank. That was pretty good that night as well.
It was a lot.
It's pretty good. Comments here from everybody as we await the arrival. Was I supposed to? I wonder if I was supposed to send him a link.
You probably were.
I wonder if he's texted me because I haven't really been checking my phone here.
He's probably busy. He's a busy guy.
Let's see. He is, man. He's a former MLB baseball player.
That's right.
He did text me. Let's see. I'm good whenever you want me. We can talk. Okay. Do I need to send you a link? We're producing on the air here.
Yep.
Send you a link. Oh, and in the meantime here, you know what? I promised pictures for Bell of our studio. And look, I did more than pictures, everybody, because this is just the kind of host that I am. Let's see, here's our setup in what we call our green room, even though it's painted blue. Let's see if we can get a little bit better angle here for this. There we go. Even though it's painted blue, this is our green room. This is where everybody hangs out and parties when everybody comes here. So obviously you see the kegerator. There is the Jägermeister machine.
It is
full. All of our great Tomstown vodka, bourbon, gin. One of our great sponsors here at FanStream Sports out of Kansas City, by the way. We love our Tomstown.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a bottle of Tito's. There's a little bottle of Milagro because I love me some Milagro, by the way, boys and girls. But there's what Bell wanted to know about right there. That is our great Jaeger machine, and you'll see there are two. It is full. You will see there are 2 empty shot glasses in that photo there down on the screen. I would present to you now as we go back full screen with me and Johnny. Those shot glasses are no longer empty. Because I might have them right here in front of me, boys and girls. As it's time for show shots, and I don't do just show shots for me. I do show shots for you as well, boys and girls.
Good way to justify it.
Yeah, how you like that? So look, let's get into it. Here's to the IndyCarTim takeover, shot number 1 of the Jaeger. And then here is my second shot. This is for all of you Petermans, for hanging out with us on the IndyCarTim takeover. We'll do it again on Monday, by the way. So what I will be doing over this weekend is I will be reaching out to you guys on X. Make sure you follow me at IndyCarTim or at FanStream Tampa, which is the Tampa Bay FanStream Sports. You better already be following that. I'll be reaching out to you guys for content questions. What do y'all want to talk about on Monday? Any guests you want me to get lined up?
And I won't be here Monday. I will not be able to do.
Yeah, Johnny
Monday.
won't be available
Travel.
with us on Monday because he's probably sleeping or something. I don't know what the hell he does.
Sleeping's not one of them.
God, I love Jägermeister. Holy moly! Do y'all know how good Jaeger is? Like, good God.
At 10 o'clock in the morning.
God, that's great. It's 9:46 local time.
I was trying to give you a 15-minute courtesy. Well, might as well say that then. It's fine.
All right. Trying to figure out
what character. Back in the
Big O's
character.
doing here. That really hurt after all the Jaeger I had last night.
You're getting back into balance. You're getting back into balance.
The lovely and talented Ashley that I hung out with last night. Johnny knows Ashley, his Twin Peaks girl.
I do.
We had some fun last night. All right, so let's get into a little bit, Johnny, of yours. We await the arrival of Big O. I'm trying to decipher here what the hell he's doing. Is he going to call in or is he coming on with us? I was hoping he'd come on with us. He's in his car. And apparently him and JP are yelling at each other in our text thread here. I won't even get into what we're yelling about. We have a fun time on our text thread, you guys.
I'm sure you do.
It's a lot of fun. I tell you what, while we wait on Big O, Johnny, why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with the memorial, and then we'll hit the NFC South stuff afterward.
Yeah, how about it's just kind of what we thought about and what we kind of projected at the beginning of the week. The golf course is winning. The golf course is playing firm. I know Ryan Gerard after the first round, 3 5-unders, Ryan Gerard, JJ Spawn, and Wyndham Clark. But they are predicated their rounds by hitting the fairways. If you look at their fairway stats, they're fantastic. You can't play from the rough here. I mean, we said this at the beginning of the week. I've been on the grounds all week, been on the range, been on the golf course. It's brutal, and it's only going to get firmer. We're going to have a little bit of rain tomorrow, so it might soften up a little bit the fairways, which is going to help these guys. But you'll see today, if you're watching coverage, it's going to play firmer. It's a little windier. Could get gusts to maybe 15 to 20, which is a lot. 85 degrees, sunny. I mean, it is perfect conditions for what Jack wants. This golf course, you might see it. I think 10, 12 under is probably going to win. Could be single digits depending on how much rain we do get. But you're starting to see the guys who drive the golf ball, extremely well and staying in the fairways have potential to shoot some really good scores and vice versa. Jordan Spieth yesterday I've never seen a round of golf from anyone my entire life. For him to shoot 71, most people in the world, even tour players, if they would have shot in the 80s. That's where he hit it at this place was something like I've never seen. And I played this place a bunch. And where he hit it and hit out of bounds from is absolutely, absolutely amazing. So it's going to form what we thought and how we, profiled this tournament this week. And just keep watching. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's playing more like a major championship. What these guys are saying. Scotty's bitching. I like Scotty does.
Scotty doesn't know.
And he doesn't cry and complain when he chips in on 17, which was trash, and then to get him to 1 over, and then he just, I'm just kind of over it. The putt that he made on 18 yesterday, the little downhitter, was a lot harder than what people think, and for him to make that kind of probably give him some momentum going into today. He's getting off a little bit earlier today, so we'll see. It's going to be exciting. I think you're going to see a lot of carnage. I think you're going to see some guys that you see at the top of the leaderboard right now might not be at the top of the leaderboard on Sunday. I think it's wide open.
Ryan Gerard right now, your current leader at 8 under. He is 3 under this for today's round through 10. Wyndham Clark at 5 under. He tees off a little after noon alongside JJ Spawn, who is also at 5 under. Tommy Fleetwood 5 under, tees off at 12:25. Eric Cole out on the course now, 4 under through 9 for the day.
That's good.
It's playing soft now for the tournament.
They're getting it in this morning. Yeah. Like this afternoon, it's going to play a lot harder than it's going to play this morning. So the guys who played late and kind of stuck around even par, 1 under par around there, they can get off early this morning with the softer conditions. You're going to see some of the better scoring this morning than you're going to certainly see in the afternoon. Now, there's going to be some guys that play well this afternoon just because they're playing well. So, like I said, it's still wide open. It's 50 in ties. Sure. The cut, and 10 shots inside the lead. So you only have potentially 22 players that miss the cut.
Get cut, yeah.
So 10 shots, inside the lead. I think the lead maybe hold at 8, could drop down to 7. So the potential 3 overs will probably get in, and I'm not so sure the 3 unders, if they make the cut, don't have a chance to win the golf tournament if they can get hot on the weekend, which could be a tough task.
Rory shot a 71 yesterday. He was at 1 under. He tees off at 12:35. We'll see what the conditions are like with him. Also, we talked about it before the show in our pre-show. Jordan Spieth shot at 71 yesterday at 1 under. He tees off here in about 30 minutes there in Dublin. Johnny, let's bring on noted MLB expert, noted former Miami Marlin, New York Yankee, Japan League superstar, be-all, end-all knowledge of all things baseball, not just MLB. It is the Big O, Orestes Destrade himself. How are you, Big O?
There he is, the one and only Jamon. Thank you. I was waiting for the applause. I don't come on without the applause. No. You guys are doing a great job. You forgot the fact that I also, pertaining to golf, that I also own a set of clubs. Never really play them, but they're really nice Mizunos.
Oh,
very nice.
Big O, I'm glad you
clubs.
I'm glad you said what clubs they were, because there's some clubs that people think that are really nice that aren't really nice. So I was going to be the first person to tell you, but I'm glad you said Mizunos. They were one of my first sponsors when I turned pro. So those are good golf clubs. Those are good golf clubs, but the key to good golf clubs, Big O, is what? You got to use them, buddy. You got to use them, man. So
here's the deal. 7 years I was with the Mizuno brand as a player, right? Using their incredible bats and gloves and batting gloves and shoes, the whole 9. And so they took me to the Tokyo main golf warehouse and they measured me for these clubs.
Yeah.
And they're actually Tommy Nakajima clubs.
Okay.
Right? And blades, etc. I can't use blades, dude. It's like why they did that to me. So I have an old set that are just beat up to shit, and those are the ones that I knock around with whenever I do play. I haven't played in quite a while, but yeah, I'm gonna give those to you because you'd be more likely to actually hit the ball straight.
I'm not so sure TaylorMade, my contract with TaylorMade, will let me play Mizuno clubs anymore, but we'll get you some real clubs with some TaylorMade next time we come down and break those babies in.
Yeah, I thought that'd be cool. I brought them out there my first time, and I never knew what the difference was from I know what the difference is from an amateur baseball player to a pro baseball player. Didn't know what the difference was between amateur clubs and pro clubs. So I take my hat off to you to be able to hit those blades.
Big O, before we get too much into Rays talk, I wanted to touch on the big news yesterday. Aaron Judge with a stress fracture in one of his ribs. And the news really could have been worse for the Yankees over there, because they kind of feared initially going into this before they knew what was going on. It could be a season-ending situation for him. But as it is, he's expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks, so 25 to 40 games in there somewhere. What is this going to mean? And I know the Yankees are more built on pitching, and there's probably guys who can fill in the holes a little bit for Judge while he's gone, but he's still Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
And you still got to make up for that. Hadn't had the greatest year so far, but
well, no, wait. You might have insulted him just a little bit. You might have.
That's what I was trying to do. That's what I'm trying to do.
I mean, it's not. What are you talking about?
17 homers,
not tops, but 17 homers, top 10. Runs scored, top 10. RBIs, top 10. Yeah, man, you're going meh because you're expecting GOAT numbers.
Yeah,
you're expecting the greatest of all time numbers. And yeah, I hear you. Listen, this is the best hit that the Rays have had in 7 or 8 games.
Right,
by far. And this one comes at the right time because the Rays are struggling, and a little bit, especially offensively, and also, with the back end of their starting rotation. But nevertheless, all kidding aside, this is a blow to the Yankees. This is the captain. Not only is he a leader, on the field, but he's a leader in the clubhouse. He's such a presence. Having been around this guy aplenty when I was doing the Rays for all those years, and he was on his way up and got a chance to, really kind of get to know him as a young player.
Yeah.
He is a presence, and I think it's going to be felt. To what degree the Yankees are built on 3-run homers and exceptional pitching. If the exceptional pitching continues, then guys like Jazz Chisholm has to, step up more. Goldschmidt probably going to get more playing time. Obviously the great year that Ben Rice is having, now becomes, you got to keep it going, kid, because that's paramount. I love what Bellinger's been doing in the last month of the season. Those guys have to pick them up. But, Hamong, I will tell you, Timmy, that do not rule out them going after a preeminent bat, the trade deadline, because this is going to go beyond the trade deadline, right? He's going to be out for at least 6 to 8 weeks, so it's going to go right into it. Who's the name that's being rumored out there? Even though it's in division, it's a little tricky, but that one Adley Rutschman is being talked about a lot because of the fact that, the kid Wells is just really struggling at the plate. Yeah. Rutschman, oh, by the way, Rutschman last year had not one but 2 oblique injuries, so he knows about those rib side injuries. He had one on his right side, one on his left side that really had a horrendous, terrible year last year. He's back on track. So, and lastly, I will say in 1993, early in the season, I was diagnosed with a stress fracture on my spine. I played in 153 games. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, because we were tougher back then, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with these guys, but they created an illusionary injury with the oblique. I'd never heard the word oblique before 1991, and I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned we're losing you a little bit. You mentioned Rutschman. He's batting .256, 7 dingers, 31 RBI for the Orioles. Everything I'm seeing from him is that he needs a little bit of change of scenery. I don't want it to be in New York, but he seems to be the guy, as he mentioned, that's tied to the Yankees the most with a potential trade to help along while Judge is gone.
Hey, Big O. I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, and I grew up as a Yankees. I grew up as a Yankees fan. Reason being is Paul O'Neill grew up on the same street that I did, so he's a little bit older than me. We went to the same high school. I played baseball in high school, 4 years of high school baseball. So I always had a kind of a love affair with the Yankees. He's one of the greatest people. He would. Now I'm talking. Now slow down. He was always great to us. So yeah, being a Yankees fan and kind of doing the conversion down to Tampa, having that affiliation with the Tampa Rays and the Yankees. Let me ask you something about the Tampa. They're having such an up and down year. They're hot and then they're cold. I know it's a long baseball season for these guys. What do you contribute to kind of some of the inconsistencies that they're having this year? Is it the back end bull pitching? Is it their hitting? Just seems like there's just so much inconsistency for this first half of the year. First off, what do you contribute that to, and what can they do maybe in the second half of the year to fix these things to potentially get in a playoff run?
Well, yeah, it's a good question because, really what's happened with the Rays was they started the season the first week or so very weakly, a lot of errors. Definitely the bullpen was down, and the offense was getting a lot of singles, not a lot of homers, but they were not, knocking the ball around, but getting, beat 9-7, 11-5, that type of game. Then all of a sudden they shorted up and the bullpen came in sync. The offense has just been dynamic. And for about a good, 6 to 7 week period of time, they were arguably one of the best teams in baseball. Now, for the last week and a bit, they've kind of regressed a little bit to that kind of beginning of the season where the bullpen's really struggling. The offense is kind of just, basically just more getting base hits again and not, thumping. So they're going to rely, what's going to happen is they're going to have to rely on number one, number two, which are pitching this weekend. And that's Sugar Shane McClanahan and the beast that is Drew Rasmussen, who's throwing tonight, Shane tomorrow. They got to rely on the recipe that works for them. Quality starting pitching, that's 6 innings, plus. Good bullpen, great defense, and timely hitting. I think they're capable of resustaining that, and they'll be all right. As far as your Columbus Clipper thing, I was Clipper of the Year in 1986 for Columbus. We won the championship that year, played at Cooper Stadium on my way up to New York for a little bit. Love the city of Columbus. Love the Ohio State. Buckeyes, believe it or not, they're not my number one, but I'm a Buckeyes fan from my times that I spent over in Columbus. So great city.
That's something we have in common, Tim, that you will never have with Big O. Is we played baseball in the same stadium. Once upon a time. We used to play at Cooper Stadium. I used to play at Cooper Stadium. He played at Cooper Stadium.
Yeah, you not have us? You got us?
Okay, I got you now. Yeah. I just didn't know if you didn't like my Columbus comment.
No. I was just telling Tim. I said we got something in common already that you will never have with Big O. Is we both played in Cooper Stadium baseball. So there we go. There we go.
Good. You can't hear Johnny, can you?
No, I apologize. I can't hear him right now.
That's
why I'm
weird.
not replying. Yeah,
I got you. That's sorry. Weird. So he was telling me that's something that you and him will have in common that you and I will never have in common. That he also played in Cooper Stadium once upon a time.
There you go. No doubt about it. Yeah, like if he could pop back on because I enjoy talking to him. But yeah, the Rays are going to go into a little weekend series that they need to recalibrate, Timmy, because you can't let this slip away too much. They've had really a couple of, in between the Angels series where they took 2 out of 3, didn't really play great baseball, but they were snuck away with a couple of victories. Then they've gotten swept twice. So you need to kind of shore it up a little bit and get back on track. As we've been talking on the show, my biggest concerns have been the back end of the bullpen, not so much the back end, but kind of like setting up to get to the back end, to get to Baker, to get to Kelly, has been a little dicey. And then it's that back end of the starting rotation.
Yeah.
I need Jax. I'm expecting the 2 big boys to have big games Friday and Saturday. And then Jax needs to kind of get back on track and show his wares. It's interesting because the Marlins are kind of very similar to the Rays in the fact that they basically have 3 hammers. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all that they've had this year offensively. You know what I mean? The Rays are doing a little better job of spreading the wealth a little bit. It's not so much for the Marlins. It's been Otto Lopez. By the way, Canadians abound, baby. I know you love that.
Absolutely.
Otto Lopez, who I believe was born in Dominica, but maybe raised in Canada or vice versa. Yeah, but he's Dominican descent. Yep. Obviously, Liam Hicks is just having a monster power year with 46 RBIs. And then you've got the young, flashy, Edwards. So those are their big 3. You got to keep them, quiet, and then you got a great chance of beating up on the fish.
So it is the Marlins and the Rays tonight. Was it 7:10 p.m. Down there in Miami? Rasmussen, Gusto. Rasmussen's 4-2 with a 3.36 ERA, 55 strikeouts. Not a lot of action from Ryan Gusto this year so far, but he does have the 9 ERA, 4 Ks. What's your thoughts on Rasmussen this year? How he's performed, and we'll get into kind of more of the overall matchup in a minute. But overall, what's his role in all of this lately?
Listen, his role is kind of as the ace of the staff right now, right? He is the guy that's with Ryan Pepio out and indefinitely for the time being right now with the hip, most likely, if he's lucky, September or something like that. But most likely he'll be out for the season. He steps up because of Sugar Shane McClanahan, coming back from not 1 but 2 serious injuries. You're not putting that label. He was for a couple of 3 years the stud, the ace, Shane McClanahan. this, the mantle's been shifted over to Drew, rightfully so. He's a workhorse. He's a guy that doesn't walk many people at all. He keeps you in the game. He gives you those quality starts. He gives you 5 or 6 strong innings, usually, 3 or less runs. So, we're not talking Shohei Ohtani. We're not talking Christopher Sanchez as far as overwhelmingly blowing you away. But we are talking 55 strikeouts versus 12 walks.
Mm-hmm.
So his walk to strikeout ratio, better than 4-1. The guy keeps you in the game. And one thing that he does well, Timmy, is that his use of fastballs. And it's 3 different fastballs, not 1, not 2, but 3. He'll throw you the 4-seamer, he'll throw you a really good cutter, and then he'll tail away a sinking fastball. So you're looking at the plate as a former hitter. That's death, because it's going 3 different directions, basically. One will go kind of right up high, one will cut in, one will cut away. So he's very, very, very adept at using fastballs.
So the right now for the Marlins, Xavier Edwards has been hot. 11 doubles, 4 triples, and 6 home runs. Kyle Stowers, 10 for 41 with 5 doubles, a triple, and a home run, and 6 RBIs over his last 10 games. The Rays will match them with Junior Caminero with 8 doubles, 14 home runs, and Aranda's 12 for 36 with a double and 3 home runs over his last 10 games. The Rays are on a 4-game road losing streak. They're 2-8 overall in the last 10 games with a 233 batting, 6.36 ERA. They've been outscored by 37 runs in the last 10 games.
Yeah, dramatic.
And I feel like the Marlins could be a slump buster for a lot of guys here. At least that's kind of how they should be.
Oh, I 100%, especially with what they're throwing out there as of right now.
Yeah.
With their pitching. So no, there's no doubt. And notoriously in the Citrus series, the Rays have played big brother to what really is, the Marlins are the bigger brother because they were 5 years older.
Sure.
So, but it's been the Rays that have controlled the Citrus series over the years, and have done really well over in Miami when they've played, and at the new stadium by as a matter of fact. So this is what they're looking forward to. That there's a core amount of guys there that know it well and know that stadium and know the Fish. But the Fish are tricky. The Fish are a snappy little team that at any time they can bite, man. So what I'm looking for, again, you're throwing your 2 hammers right off the bat. When you are struggling, you need that hammer 1 and hammer 2. And that's, Drew Rasmussen and Shane McClanahan. Those guys stumble, then Houston, we have a problem for real. Okay, this 10-game slide where they're only hitting 233 and they're getting outscored, we'll just let it go for that. But once you get into that second go-around of your hammers going back out on the mound and they get knocked around, which hasn't happened. These guys haven't gotten knocked around, but they've also had no decisions and lost games in that 10-game stretch. You need them to throw 6+ quality starts, get on the board, and they can do that. So I'm looking for at least a series victory here by winning Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday would be, up in the air with Jack starting that game.
Johnny, are you back with us? Let's see if Big O can.
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, I'm back.
We
are back. Hey, Big O, you kind of look at the season. It's like we said earlier, it's a long season. So, I know we got 3 weeks probably before the break. Having your big hit, is this a specific reason? Like, I know it's their rotation, but going down and having their, their best pitchers go down and they need to beat the Marlins just to get off the snide with 2-8, like we talked about the record 2-8. They need to get off of it. But do you think if they don't, something happened? There's something more internally of the issue, and can they not get to the break fast enough if they can't kind of figure out really what is going on with their pitching? I mean, these have to be get right games, especially when they're throwing their aces and their big hitters out there. If they don't make this happen and win this series, what's next? I mean, what do they do in the meantime?
Right. Interestingly, you say, get right series. This was kind of a get right month if you look at it objectively as far as the schedule. And by that, I mean, you had you have, and I say had now because the Tigers already just swept you at home, surprisingly, and hit 10 jacks and just, slap you all over the place. But you crumple that up and you throw it away. But the reality is that this month of June, before you get into, July 4th, and as you meander into the All-Star break, the second week of July, you've got Detroit, you've got Miami. All right, too late with Detroit. Okay, sorry about that one. Miami, you've got Boston. Again, all sub 500 teams. You have the Angels after that, sub 500 team. Then you have the juggernaut Dodgers. Okay, hold on a second on that one. But then you have Washington that's playing a click over 500, decent little team. Then you have Kansas City, 4 at home against Kansas City. Can't waste that opportunity. And then Arizona, which has been kind of wishy-washy this year, hot and cold. Then you have Kansas City again. So if Johnny, what you're talking about, you have to take advantage of the fact that you're playing predominantly below 500 teams, and one major, juggernaut in the Dodgers in the midst there. So can they right the ship? 100%. I've been very, very pleased overall with what this team is about. The smart ball, small ball combination of a very athletic team. And the key is going to be, is how well does that back end of the starting rotation respond? Jax, Martinez, and Matz. Those guys, 2 of them are uber veterans, and one's trying to figure out starting. Let's go, because this is the time to, as they say in sports, this is the time to eat in the month of June.
Yeah, and if you don't take advantage of these first few series that you're playing, then you go to the Dodgers, and then you just get housed there. Well, that's certainly going to your mentality of being an athlete. You're so beat down knowing that you can't beat the Marlins, and you have some of these teams that are sub 500 with, like the Bostons that you said. Then you go to potentially the best team in baseball, and then you get beat down, and then you go to another series with no confidence. I mean, that certainly can't bode well for them. And how do you fit? Going into the break might be a blessing for them for the All-Star break, maybe to kick the tires on something again and get their confidence back. They can't lose these next couple series, go into LA and think that they're going to have confidence beating them, and then go play another team. So I think these first couple series going in before the Dodgers are extremely important for their confidence.
No, it sure is. I mean, the one thing I will tell you, Johnny, that's different, well, not so much different, a little different than any other sport, but I know when you guys get into your season with golf, I mean, it's every weekend you have a challenge. The thing about baseball, so golf is a little bit more akin to the rat race of football, where you got to prepare, every week. The difference there is that you guys got to go for 4 days, right? And go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then you get a little break, get where you're going. Baseball, man, it's every freaking day. It's 162 games in 100 and barely 80 days. It's just wicked. So I will tell you that you neither look that far ahead of series, nor do you look, the pundits do, we do, but as a former player, that has weathered the marathon seasons of a major leagues, you have to kind of look at it series by series. So right now, you sucked against Detroit, you just go to Miami and you take care of business, and then you get on a plane and you go to the next place. Which actually is coming back home for a short homestand. So I think they're going to be fine. They're very well led by Kevin Cash, one of the best managers in the major leagues.
Big O, I wanted to get your thoughts on the American League so far. You've got the 3 division leaders so far, the Rays with half a game up on the Yankees, who will lose Aaron Judge, as we just talked about, for probably 2 months maybe. Guardians 2 games up on the White Sox, and the Mariners 2.5 games up on the A's and the Rangers. Out of those 3 teams in the American League, who do you think is most likely to finish the season with a division win?
If I'm going to be candid, I have to say that it should be the Yankees that should win the division. I mean, and not because I'm a Yankee guy, because I am out of the womb, loved it, got to play for them, and I've always been a Yankee fan. But all that aside, I'm a baseball realist, and having played it, and also an analyst. And I think the Yankees starting pitching is just overly dramatic. I don't think people realize, and that's why they're in the top in ERA right now. But their starting pitching is just so strong. And they've got both young guys that a lot of the league don't know still very well, and are trying to figure them out. And Schlittler and Warren, both having fantastic years. And then you've got Cole back, you've got Rodon back. They're going to get Max Fried back because it wasn't that serious of an injury and the rehab on that. So you're probably going to have him in the second half. It's just, and by the way, they have a kid of a guy that I played with the Marlins and Ryan Weathers. I played with his dad, David Stormy Weathers. By the way, I wonder what they call Ryan. I'm assuming if Davey was Stormy Weathers, maybe he's Cloudy Weathers. I'm not sure, but he is a whip. His dad was a right-handed thrower that could throw every day. He was like just a rubber arm. And he was a reliever. This kid's a power lefty, 6'1", 230, and he goes at you, and he's having a nice year with a 3.5 ERA. So to answer your question, Yankees are just too deep with pitching right now, brother, and that ends up beating you up in the end. Now, Judge's injury, I think it could have not so much a physical issue with the team because of not having his potent bat, but we'll see how they respond emotionally. You know what I mean? Right, when teams lose that star quarterback, that star guard or center, sometimes they either rise or they get a little buckled. And we'll see, who steps up as a captain type of a person. If I had to say on that team, it should be Bellinger. Bellinger is one of the, the kind of the noteworthy, steady veteran guy. I definitely don't want it to be, One Piece, Mr. One Piece there, Jazz Chisholm. I'm not he's not the guy to take over. I'm sorry, but not a huge fan. And with his antics. But so it's going to be interesting. Is it a Garrett Cole? But pitchers are always tricky to be the guys to run a clubhouse. You kind of need an everyday guy, a Jeter, a Big Papi, those type of guys.
Big O. Since Volpe's come back up, they sent him down, and obviously reasons they sent him down. Not performance, didn't get along with the team. You hear different things of what's going on with Volpe. Has he performed better in your opinion since he's come back up? And was that something that was needed for him to kind of, everybody's players are treated a little bit different. Was that something that was needed for him to get sent down and then get brought back up, and his performance getting better and will continue to get better as the year continues to go on?
Yeah, listen, he's an enigma of a player. Anthony Volpe has a world of talent to be a superstar. What has happened with him is kind of similar to when Joe DiMaggio was the center fielder of the Yankees, and then came Mickey Mantle. Man, it was so hard for the next generation to fill that bill, right? Of just incredible center fielders. And Bobby Mercer was the first guy to kind of be like, oh, he's the next, Joe DiMaggio, next Mickey Mantle. Man, was it hard. This kid is coming on the heels of the great Derek Jeter and was kind of lauded that way. And I think what's happened is that he's trying to do too much. And I've actually gotten a chance to get to know Dr. Volpe, his father. He's been down here in Florida, and I've met with him. And I'm tempted to call him and just say, please tell the kid to just try. No, seriously. I don't know how it is in golf. I really don't, because I'm not a good golfer, but I don't know the true pressures of pro playing. Because people think, oh, yeah, I can do this, I can do that. You don't know until you're facing, an important chip or a drive or a putt, or you're facing Randy Johnson in a Major League Baseball game. You have no idea. So when you're up there, what I want him to do is to kind of really break it down, because I look at his swing and he overswings so much, right? Instead of like just using, and he's really, really fast. So use his speed and kind of look at the Rays hitters and play a little bit more small ball. If he got traded to the Rays, that's what they would do to him. He'd actually end up becoming a much more productive player, ironically. But he's up there trying to pop home runs and do all these great grandiose things. So he did get sent down, and he also got injured, Johnny. So he had to come back from both things. He had off-season shoulder surgery. So he started the season, on the IL and in AAA. I like what he's doing since he's back. He's hitting 220, playing pretty good defense, only 50 at bats. The games that I've seen, it doesn't seem to be overswinging, still swinging a little bit too hard. And when I say too hard, don't get me wrong. You have to have massively quick hands. It's the body. You can't swing with your body. You gotta slow your mind and your body down and swing with your hands. And sometimes he doesn't do that.
Speaking of injuries, we'll wrap things up and let you go, Big O, with this. Taylor Walls, still day-to-day with the hammy. What are you hearing about his return, his progress, when we might we see him again?
Yeah, that's always a tricky injury. They've had a couple of guys already with hammy injuries this season. And that one, what I hear is pretty much just he's going to be day-to-day. I'm glad, for their sake, that the flip-flop of a guy like Ben Williamson came back right as Taylor Walls, tweaked his hammy. So you didn't have both of them on the IL. Williamson is back from, I believe, a hamstring injury himself. So, and he's a solid player. Williamson is. So not as great defensively as Walls, but a better offensive player. So they're going to shore that up. That's going to be fine. Listen, I do want to mention one more thing before we go, as we go into this weekend and the stuff. I think we have to, we have to give props to arguably the greatest player. When we say this, you kind of like, it's so easy in the media now, and because of social media, and to make dramatic comments. But Shohei Ohtani is becoming the greatest player to ever put on a Major League Baseball uniform. And that's saying so much, but he's just doing too many incredible things.
Yeah.
The other day, he ends up throwing 6 innings of shutout baseball. He gets on base 5 times. He's the first player to ever show to throw 6 innings of shutout baseball and actually get on base more times than the opposition. The opposition only got on base 3 times against him. So he's doing things that are at another level, and I think it deserves to be applauded as far as controlling, not just being good, but being great at both aspects of hitting and pitching. It's something that we may never, ever see again.
Yeah, and I've been touting him as the greatest MLB player of all time probably for a year now, even coming into this year.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, and it was an internal debate for me. Look, my favorite all-time Major League Baseball player is Ty Cobb. And look, I get the character issues, obviously.
No, but you're talking about pure talent.
Yeah, I'm talking about baseball, and I've got all the books. I've been reading stuff about him since I was a little kid. Second, probably Pete Rose. He played for my Expos for a very short time, but I've in the 70s,
sure
the only TV I could get, only baseball I could get on TV was the Reds. Obviously, in the Big Red Machine, because that's what they played on national TV 1 game a week, because they were one of the best in the league. So I loved the Reds. I saw them on TV more than I did the Rangers, my local team in the 70s. That's just how it was. But, man, Shohei Ohtani, and everybody throws out Babe Ruth. Of course, he's in the argument as the best ever, and everybody will throw out, well, he pitched really well, and, he was one of the greatest
really
hitters.
Well.
Yeah, but he didn't do them both at the same time.
No, he didn't, brother. No, he didn't.
And that's the difference here. And
that is what's going on.
Yeah, and I would say Shohei Ohtani's probably a better pitcher than Babe Ruth was, even in his prime as a pitcher in Boston. And
I think so. The hitting is negligible because it's hard to even the pitching and the hitting is hard to go era by era.
Sure.
But I will tell you, I don't think he's like, if Shohei was just a hitter, he would not be in my top 10 greatest, hitter of all time, right? That list is number one, and first and foremost, because I lived it, lockered next to him, played with him, is Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, the greatest player I've ever seen, and that is having played with Winfield and Ricky Henderson and Don Mattingly, and played against Boggs and played against, Griffey Jr. Barry Bonds is the greatest human player that I've ever seen on a field. Now, I only saw video. Yeah, bro, you have no idea the things this guy can do. He was a
I didn't get to grow up watching him because I was in an American League city. No. He the speed was world class. The arm, incredible. The knowledge of fielding a baseball, almost like an Andrew Jones defensively. How quick he could, react. So forget about all the home runs. I'm talking about all-around ball player. The only guy that I could think of, but I never saw him, was Willie Mays, right? But, we didn't get a chance. But I'm talking about, because if it goes down to, greatest of all time by statistics and what people say, I probably would say Willie Mays, those type of players, because people just say that he was incredible. I'm going by physically watching this guy next to me. So, but Shohei, when you group the two things, I always say that he is Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan would won Defensive Players of the Year. Yeah.
And obviously was the greatest offensive player, arguably, of all time. So when you're doing both things, that's the only other player. Tell me a sport where you have a player dominate both sides of the field.
Yeah. I mean, in hockey, you go historically.
Not in hockey.
Bobby Orr was one of the greatest scoring defensemen. That's working both sides of the ice.
But he's still not, I mean, I don't,
it's not on the same level. Right. It's not on the same level.
You can't put a quarterback because he doesn't play defense. You can't put a forward in a striker in soccer with a goalie or a defenseman. You just can't. Basketball is the closest because of the fact that you get back to defense, and if you dominate defensively, that's why they're talking about this kid, the alien. But he hasn't even shored himself up as far as being a true scorer, right? He just has games here and there. We're talking about Wembanyama. But what Shohei is doing is akin to only one other player in my mind's eye in the history of sports, and that's Michael Jordan, because he would dominate you offensively and defensively.
And Ohtani, to wrap it up here, he's not, obviously he hasn't been some 1 year wonder with all of this. I know he's dealt with injuries, but it seems like the longevity, we'll see, but it seems like the longevity will be there for him from the plate and from the mound. So I'm stoked about him and watching him.
Well, my last comment is that, I would bet on him.
Sure. Absolutely. All right, Big O. Appreciate your time, man.
Let's hope to God that does not end up being one of these things that 30 years from now is going to be like, or even less, where it's
keeps them out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's incredible asterisk if something was found out that, was not muy bueno.
Yeah, we don't need that.
We don't need that.
All right, Big O. Go enjoy the rest of your day, brother.
You guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Man.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it,
Johnny.
Big O.
You got it, buddy. Be good. Later.
There he goes, Orestes Destrade, our in-house hero, baseball hero is what he is. Here on FanStream Sports. We're lucky to have him. We love some Big O. Final break of the show. We'll come back on the other side. If Johnny's got time, we can still talk a little bit NFC South. We hadn't got to that yet. I thought that was going to be the first thing we talked about today. And then we'll wrap things up here on the JP Peterson Show. It's an IndyCarTim takeover of the JP Peterson Show alongside J. John E. Gerber, PGA of America member, Esquire. Back after this.
Well, the folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC want to say thanks for making them so dadgum busy. Of course, advertising on your favorite Tampa Bay sports talk show helps, but it's their incredible customer service, honesty, and integrity that have earned them tons of 5-star reviews. And now you could be part of the team at Third Generation. Yes, they are so slammed They need to hire more certified AC technicians and plumbers. It's a great family business to work for. My buddy John Rodriguez runs an old school family business since 1995. They pay well, give you all the holidays off, and they offer great benefits. No cold corporate atmosphere here. You're part of the family. If this sounds cool to you, call them and apply at 813-961-8024, or you can email your resume in at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. Just go to the website, you'll see the button, email them, or call them at 813-961-8024. And don't forget about the $169 yearly maintenance special. It's a no-brainer, guys. thirdgenerationplumbing.com, and they also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Sports fans, it's time to gear up. Head to FanStreamSports.com and check out our brand new merchandise store. We're talking bold t-shirts, 3/4 zips, hoodies, hats, mugs, and more. Everything you need to rep your favorite shows and your favorite crew. Whether you're rolling with the JP Peterson Show in Tampa Bay, From the Rough in Dallas, the Timm Show featuring Clay Hall, or the Jeff Thidoff Show in Ohio, or any of our FanStream Sports original programming, we've got the perfect look for game day and every day. So don't wait. FanStreamSports.com. Click merch and grab your gear now. Wear the stream, live the stream. FanStreamSports.com.
Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. Welcome into the IndyCarTim takeover. J. John G. E. Gerber, Esquire, had to bounce as we've got, of course, he was there in our FanStream Sports Ohio studio right there in Columbus, just a stone's throw from the Horseshoe. And we've got a full slate of shows coming out of that studio daily. And our 11 a.m. show, Eastern time, came in and needed the studio. So I guess Johnny decided they're more important than we are. So we'll deal with that, and we'll deal with that internally however we think we need to deal with it. I'm not real sure what to think about that. We'll talk some NFC South projections from CBS Sports here. Comments for you guys. Sergio, this was funny. Well, at least the Rays didn't lose yesterday. That is absolutely correct. They did not lose yesterday. That was funny. And damn, JP left us alone with Dallas Timm. You know, I've been called worse things than Dallas Timm. And let's be clear, I live in Dallas. I have lived in or around Dallas for most of my 55 years. But I in no way consider myself a Texan. I was not born here. One of my parents was not born here, so it's not like I've got a long family lineage of Texans, although my father's side of the family has been here for a couple hundred years, from what I understand. My mom's from the North. Not the Great White North, just from the North. She's a Des Moines, Iowa girl. And so I was actually born in, I usually say in New Orleans, but it wasn't. It was, my birth certificate reads Houma, for those of you familiar with southern Louisiana. And but my parents moved me here at a young age, and you know, we moved around a little bit between Montreal and Houma, Louisiana, and Dallas, as my dad worked in the oil business. So I kind of got three homes. That's why I consider Montreal one of my homes, along with southern Louisiana and Dallas. But I in no way consider myself a Texan. But I won't fight the word or the moniker Dallas Timm. I've been called a lot worse, probably today, to be quite honest with you. Danny Boy, yeah, definitely Pooh Shiesty producing on the air. Yeah, I didn't. Said he wanted to come on today, and I, of course, love when he comes on. We just didn't really talk about how or when or anything beyond that, so that's on me for sure. Bell says, definitely a nice green room. Love that. Yeah, the Jägermeister's always flowing here in the studio. Danny Boy also went to College Station in 2022. The fans there are very nice, but the one thing they hate more than anything is the sight of burnt orange. They do not like Texas at all. Well, yeah, it's our number one nemesis, our arch rival. The University of Texas mentions Texas A&M in their fight song, and Texas A&M mentions the University of Texas in their fight song. So that should tell you a little bit of something about how much hate is there. And you do not wear burnt orange anywhere near College Station or Bryan. By the way, the school's just 90 miles apart for those not familiar with the landscape here. It's one of the biggest, to me, one of the best rivalries in all of college football. And now they're back together after a 10-year absence in non-conference play. They didn't play each other when Texas A&M moved to the SEC up until last year when Texas joined the SEC. Bell said, show shot for me. I'll do one of those right after I get off the air for you, Bell, for sure. It's better than espresso, Tim. Absolutely. Responsibly, Tim, says Danny Boy. Show shots are a tough job, but someone has to do it. I salute you, Tim. Absolutely, Pooh Shiesty. I always make sure that I have one of those, usually before we go on the air here. I don't know how JP feels about me doing them on the air. I'll be real honest with you. I never asked permission, but it is what it is. Pooh Shiesty, I'll answer that for you now. 2 hours of stadium talk. I get it. Again, as I said at the beginning of the show, for those of you who missed it, I applaud JP's passion for what's going on with the stadium. Obviously, I'm not there, so I'm not nearly as connected as he is. But at the same time, I don't know that I have ever been or ever will be as passionate about anything as JP is about the stadium thing. I just, my brain is not wired that way. I don't know, but I respect it, and I get why he does it. There's a lot of it. That's all I'm going to say. It's his show. There's a lot of it. Let's see. Danny Boy, I wonder how the U.S. Open will play in 2 weeks with those conditions there. The U.S. Open at Shinnecock's always, for lack of a better word, a shit show, like the U.S. Open is every year. But I especially love the U.S. Open at Shinnecock. Aviation, local kid here. He's Plano Aviation is what we can call him. Gerard just dunked one in the water. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't have the leaderboard up or anything. I don't have it on one of my 72 TVs here because the TV that I had the tournament on, my ESPN Plus, for whatever reason, switched over to AMC. So during the show, boys and girls, I'm getting a replay of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis flick, True Lies. It's actually what I've got on the TV up there. So just if I look distracted, look, I got me over there and all of you. If I'm ever distracted right now, it's because I got True Lies on the TV up there. So it's kind of what goes on the show. Look, let's get into a little NFC South talk because post-draft, I think a lot of people's, I guess, thoughts, theories, projections, predictions on the NFC South might have changed. I didn't see a lot of people that were too high on the Bucs entering the draft or where or how they would finish in the NFC South. I think that their draft has changed a lot of thoughts. I'm certainly more, I don't want to say interested, but I'm certainly more, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess optimistic fits a little bit about the Bucs post-draft. And maybe less optimistic about a couple of the other teams in the South because of their drafts. Not that anybody had just a horrible draft, but I think the moves that the Bucs made, the additions that the Bucs have made, will suit their needs better than, without getting into too much, draft talk here. Let's talk a little bit about what CBS Sports projects for the NFC South. They started with the Falcons. I think they went in alphabetical order is what they did here. So we'll discuss that. For the Falcons, they placed the over-under for wins at 6.5. And I love how they started this narrative here. And let me know if you agree. Of course, the Falcons moved on from Kirk Cousins, who's now in Vegas. They still have Michael Penix Jr., who's coming off of an injury. The third torn ACL of his career. And the Falcons bring in Tua. And I always thought it comical that you pay Kirk Cousins a year ago $100 million. Then you draft Michael Penix in the first round. And somehow 12 months later, you have Tua as your starting quarterback. I find that very comical. But the way they start the narrative here does CBS Sports. If you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance. And I believe that 100%. I also believe that the Falcons do not have a quarterback. I'm not nearly as high on Michael Penix as JP is. I don't hate the guy. I think he's extremely talented. I just don't think you can beat the injury bug. And when you've got the injury bug, it's like a virus. Tua's got it. Penix has it. There are just certain players. I don't ever want to say injury prone. I don't like that terminology. But, man, when you're Michael Penix, I feel for the guy. I don't have any hatred towards Michael Penix, obviously. I just think that's just the player he is. I think if he plays a lot of football in his career, he's going to miss a lot of time in his career. The less he plays, obviously, the less he'll be injured. Tua, I just don't know what to say about Tua. Again, concussions have been an issue. Other injuries have been an issue going back to Alabama. And it's tough to feel optimistic for me about either guy right now. Penix is 4-8 as a starter over his 2 seasons. He owns the highest bad throw percentage in the league at 24%. That's according to Pro Football Reference. Tua threw a career-high 15 picks with the Dolphins last year. He is 12-13 as a starter over the last 2 years. And there is no argument that he has insanely regressed. Not that he was ever great, but I feel like he was on a trajectory that in the positive. After that massive contract extension in Miami, he has not played as well as he did before. And I don't have an explanation for it. CBS Sports says that they imagine the season for the Falcons will be about riding Bijan Robinson. He solidified himself as one of the premier running backs in the NFL last year. By the way, under your new offensive coordinator in Tampa. And the question, though, for everybody is, can Bijan Robinson make up for the lack of a viable quarterback? Drake London just got a big contract. Kyle Pitts is still there. He had a good season last year. So they've got offensive weapons, but they're all through the air. And if you don't got a guy to get them there, does it really help? It's for you basketball fans. It's like having a bunch of weapons on your offense, but you don't have a point guard to get the ball to him. Kevin Stefanski is now there. I'm a big believer in Kevin Stefanski. I liked him in Cleveland. But he hasn't won more than 5 games in a season since 2023, and I'm not 100% sure that he's going to a better situation from Cleveland to Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta is by far a better organization. I don't question that. I'm just saying from a roster standpoint, I don't know what he's going to have to work with. Again, 6.5 wins is your prediction from CBS Sports for the Falcons. The Carolina Panthers, your defending division champion, with a losing record. By the way, the only team in the history of the NFL to make the playoffs with a losing record twice. And they're going to be playing the first place schedule. So they'll have the toughest schedule of any team in the South. But they also arguably had the best offseason. They splurged for Jalen Phillips. Had the 4th highest pressure rate in the NFL last year. They stole Pro Bowl linebacker Devin Lloyd. And in the draft, of course, they added to their offensive line Monroe Freeling. They drafted defensive playmaker Lee Hunter, and found the speedster wide receiver Chris Brazzell in the 3rd round. So additions, I don't know if it's enough. And look, all eyes will be on Bryce Young, and I've never been a Bryce Young believer either. He had a better year last year than I thought he would ever have. I'm not sure how sustainable that is, in my opinion. And part of it's because of his size, but a lot of it's just because I don't think he has the same natural gifts that a lot of successful quarterbacks do. Just because you're the overall number 1 pick doesn't mean that you've got an unlimited ceiling. If Young plays well again, then maybe they can repeat as division champs. However, I still think they're going to have to, the Bucs may have something to say about that. Over-under projection for them was at 7.5 by CBS Sports. Your New Orleans Saints that all of you guys love so much. By the way, are my New Orleans Saints the most hated rival in the NFC South for Bucs fans? Y'all let me know. I think I've asked JP that before, and he was pretty clear that it was, at least in his opinion. I don't know that anybody hates the Falcons and hates Carolina like they hate the Saints. And I get it. We're a hateable team, man. But the Saints are a huge question mark in this thing. Tyler Shuck was most impressive as a rookie last year. Entered Rookie of the Year conversation, was a finalist for that award. He has some upgrades in his arsenal. Travis Etienne is with him now. 1st-round pick Jordan Tyson. Chris Olave is coming off a career year, but they also lost some pieces. Cam Jordan, Alontae Taylor, Demario Davis. The 6-11 finish last year was way better than I thought they should have had. Projecting me going into the season, I thought they would be the worst team in the league. Yes, worse than Cleveland, worse than the Giants. I thought that they'd be last year. Just pick your worst team in the league. I thought that New Orleans would be worse. The question is, will they trend in the right direction? They're over under 7.5 for the Saints from CBS Sports. And I thought they had one of the most underrated drafts. I just don't know that it was enough to put them over the NFC South top. Plus, I'm not a believer in their coach. I've seen enough of Kellen Moore here in Dallas. I know what he did in Philly as an offensive coordinator. Go ask Todd Bowles. Is it the same being a coordinator as being a head coach? No. And I'm not a believer in, as they refer to him in New Orleans, Ellen Moore. I'm not. But let's get to the Bucs, because not only Do I think they have the highest ceiling here in the South? They have the highest over-under projection from CBS Sports at 8.5. And here's exactly what CBS Sports had to say about your Buccaneers. I won't summarize it for you. I'll tell you exactly what they said. There's a reality where the Buccaneers shake off what happened in 2025 and take their rightful place atop the NFC South once again, or there's a legitimate changing of the guard that will become clear in the coming months. Baker Mayfield looked like an MVP favorite early in the year, throwing 12 touchdowns and just 1 pick in the first 6 games. But he finished throwing 14 touchdowns and 10 interceptions in the final 11 games. His 217.2 passing yards per game and 26 passing touchdowns ranked the fewest since joining the Bucs in 2023. Now he's going through his 4th offensive coordinator change in as many years and has lost his trusted number 1 wideout, Mike Evans. The Bucs have gone 4-8 without Evans over the past 2 seasons. The Buccaneers defense hasn't finished at the top half of the league in 3 straight years now, and they lost legendary linebacker Levante David and cornerback Jamel Dean. I'm not exactly bullish on the Bucs entering 2026, and I find it fascinating that Vegas isn't either. Tampa Bay is plus money to finish with a winning record at 8.5. So all of those things are correct. But what gets lost in the narrative here that we all watched last year with the Bucs was injuries. There's a reason the second half, and I know they dealt with injuries all year. I get it. And they started the season probably way better than they should have because they were already dealing with injuries early in the season on the offensive line. And we thought they were outperforming. And JP and I both said at some point it's going to balance out. Now, I didn't realize that the balancing out was going to be that drastic of a drop-off. I thought, them coming back to earth, would mean maybe 500 ball the second half of the season. And if you do that, you win the division after your hot start. It just wasn't meant to be. Baker getting hurt, Bucky getting hurt, and the injuries continuing, just it derailed the entire season. And that's what gets lost in all of this narrative. It's just, if you just read those 3 paragraphs on CBSSports.com, then you get the idea that, well, they just collapsed for no reason. Nowhere in this were injuries mentioned. And injuries, obviously, are a big part of the game. So, look, if you want my predictions, and I'm sure JP and I will get closer into this and a little more detailed into it, but I won't give you records, but I'll tell you right now, if they can just steer clear, not from all injuries, but from catastrophic major injuries next year, I think they're a deeper team than last year. On the offensive line, a little bit, and on the defensive line, still needs some help at linebacker depth, I think. But I think the Bucs win the division by probably 2 games, and probably over Carolina. I'm going to have, when we get there, I'm probably going to have the Falcons somewhere just over 500, and probably have the Saints just under 500. If you want my outline of how I expect things to go in the NFC South. And again, JP and I will do a show. We do this every year on what we've gone through the schedule and done win-loss. But as we get through training camp and we get more data to examine, which is just a lazy way of saying I'll probably change my mind the closer we get to preseason. When I watch more tape and more practice and we get through training camp, then we'll do more of that for sure. It's a lot of fun to project, but you guys let me know what you think about all of these things as we wrap things up here on a Friday. Back to your comments here. Let me see where I left off. Pooh Shiesty is Scotty Doesn't Know the best song from a movie ever? What about a great fictional bands from movies? Yeah. I think Johnny and I reference that all the time on our golf show that we do together every week. And I was laughing before the show today because, Scotty struggled mightily at Muirfield Village yesterday in round 1 of the Memorial. And CBS or ESPN this morning, they were talking about it, and that's what they referenced on the graphic on the screen, had a picture of Scotty Scheffler, and it just said Scotty Doesn't Know, and it made me giggle. Like, I LOL'd legitimately when I saw that. I tried to take a picture of it, but it disappeared, and I didn't feel like rewinding it and whatever. Again, lazy Tim. But yeah, that's a pretty good fictional song from a pretty good fictional band in a movie. From Road Trip is what that's from. So good one there. Poosh Icy also big chocolate Cuban. Is that what we're calling Orestes now? Is he the big chocolate Cuban?
That big brown Cuban.
He's the big brown Cuban for sure. Aaron Judge says Danny Boy is going to Dallas in reference to that too. I don't know what that means. I don't remember what our previous conversation was about him, Danny Boy. My apologies. Chris Cole, if they play the NFL season on paper, they might as well just give the championship to the Rams, but they don't. Yeah, and everyone's doing that. And I get it. I look, the Rams were already good. So I don't think adding Myles Garrett, who's the best defensive player of our generation right now, with all due respect to Aaron Donald, who's retired, how many wins better are they with Myles Garrett? I don't think it's like a full game better. Half a game better this season because of Myles Garrett. I mean, that's good. But you know what? They're in an extremely competitive division. The Seahawks are going to be good again. I don't know. Now, here's the thing. There's rumors of Aaron Donald coming back because of this, which I think's bullcrap. But if he comes back now and you've got both of them, now I think we're talking about something significant. But yes, Chris Cole, to your point, a lot of the media, especially out west, are crowning them Super Bowl champions already. And you know what? They may well do that. But can we just play the games first? And by the way, it would be in their home stadium again. Last time they won the Super Bowl was in their home stadium. They became the second team to do that. After who? I hear all of you saying it in unison, the Bucs in 2020, correct? So, yeah, let's just give it a minute. And I love Myles Garrett. He's a former Texas A&M Aggie. I followed his career since high school here in Texas. We have a Go Bucs from Serbia. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce your name, but thanks for popping in here. And he throws the Bucs flag out there with, I'm not sure, it might be the Serbian flag. My apologies. Verse was not happy with the trade. Would you? Coming from a Super Bowl contender that you're a huge part of, by the way, you're a huge reason why they're a Super Bowl contender to the Browns. And look, I love the Browns. I don't know why. Since they drafted Johnny Manziel, I've been a fan of the Browns. I say this all the time. I have two jerseys. I have two Cleveland Browns jerseys in my closet. A Johnny Manziel jersey and a Baker Mayfield jersey. But whatever. And I wrote about the Browns for years, the whole AFC North, and they were my favorite AFC North team. Maybe because they were the lowly Browns. I have no idea why I have affection for them, but I do. But yeah, I get it. I heard reports that he reached out to Max Crosby about how it was that the Ravens canceled that trade, how they called it. Like, apparently he's looking for a loophole or something. I don't know. That's just speculation. It is what it is. Michael LaRue says Baker said they're not close on a contract extension. He said once training camp starts, he'll focus on the season, as it should be. And we talked this week to Scott Reynolds at pewterreport.com, and we discussed this same subject. Is this on Baker or is this on the team? Is this Baker gambling on himself and says, look, I'm good right now. Let's talk about it after the season when he's going to probably earn $50 million from somebody. Will it be the Bucs? The Bucs say they're happy to pay it. I don't know. Honestly. It's a peculiar situation. It's not peculiar. It's the NFL. We're going through the same thing in Dallas right now with George Pickens, who's playing under the tag. Baker's still under contract this year. But it's a point we'll be talking about and focusing on and paying attention to all season for sure. Chris also said that the Rays should trade for Brandon. That's kind of funny. Man, Bear Pigs. Timm, is CeeDee Lamb still a first-round pick in fantasy? Look, I haven't played fantasy football in probably going on 7 years after playing every single year since 1988. I just got tired of it, and it's just too much for me now. I got too much else going on, and I haven't played it in a while. But I will tell you what I have done, Man Bears Pigs, is I will also be doing an IndyCarTim takeover of the JP Peterson Show on Monday while JP is still out. And I have invited our resident fantasy football expert, Jeff Tito Thidoff from Fantasy Football Island on FanStream Sports in Ohio, to come on and sort of give us a fantasy football preview for the season as everyone's starting to get into thoughts about their team draft and everything coming up. So if he's able to pop on for a few minutes, you guys line up your fantasy football questions, if you have any of those for Monday, and we'll discuss all of that then. My guess would be, yeah, he's still the number one receiver here in Dallas. He still has Dak throwing him the ball. Pickens doesn't really change any of that. I think, if anything, Pickens being on the roster improves CD's numbers. I don't think he takes catches away from CD. I think he opens up the field for CD to get more. But yeah. So, Aviation, it feels as if the Falcons may be better than projected. If Tua comes in and manages the offense, they could be dangerous. Yeah, if Tua ends up being a serviceable quarterback for the Falcons, they could be dangerous. But you know what else, Aviation? If ands and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas. I think that is a huge if. I do not see that happening. That's just the way it is. Bell says, have a good weekend, Tim. Much love to the Petermans. And you know what? I think that is a great way to end things here after our 2-hour show. When I projected we'd only do 1 hour show, I think I promised 1 hour. But here we are running late on a 2-hour show. I appreciate everybody popping in here with us, supporting the show, supporting me during the IndyCarTim takeover. We're going to do it all again on Monday. Hey, you guys reach out to me over the weekend, and I'll put some posts out there at IndyCarTim on X and at FanStream Tampa on X. Let me know what y'all want to talk about on Monday. I mentioned we might have some fantasy football talk. You guys set the show run sheet for me. What do y'all want to hear about on Monday? What do you want to talk about on Monday? Let's talk about it on social media this weekend, and then we'll get into it. I'm IndyCarTim. This has been your JP Peterson Show right here on FanStream Sports. Until Monday, boys and girls, we'll see ya.